For as long as anyone can remember, the waters around England were not a place you would expect to find an octopus. These incredibly intelligent creatures were usually found in warmer seas, far away from the chilly English Channel. Fishermen would sometimes tell stories of catching one by accident, a rare event that would be the talk of the town for weeks. They were creatures of myth and legend for us, something you'd see in a documentary about the Mediterranean or the Great Barrier Reef, but certainly not something you would find while walking along a beach in Cornwall or Devon. They were simply not part of our local marine wildlife, and no one ever expected that to change in such a dramatic way. But now, something extraordinary is happening along our southern coastline. The stories are no longer about a single, lonely octopus found once in a blue moon. Instead, fishermen are reporting them in their nets and pots almost every single day. Beachcombers are finding them stranded on the sand after high tides, their rubbery bodies a strange and fascinating sight against the familiar pebbles and shells. What was once an incredibly rare encounter has become a common occurrence. The octopus has arrived, and it seems they are not just passing through. They are setting up home, breeding, and spreading rapidly, turning our familiar waters into a new and unexpected frontier for this remarkable animal. This sudden appearance has left many scientists and local communities both amazed and a little concerned. The common octopus, or Octopus vulgaris, is the species we are seeing most often. These are masters of camouflage, able to change their skin color and texture in the blink of an eye to blend in perfectly with their surroundings. They are also famously clever, known for their problem-solving skills, like opening jars or navigating complex mazes. Seeing them thrive in a new environment is a testament to their incredible adaptability. But their arrival isn't just a curiosity. It's a sign that our marine ecosystems are undergoing a profound and rapid transformation, bringing with it a whole new set of challenges. The scale of this population boom is truly astonishing. In areas where you might have found none just a decade ago, scientists are now observing dozens in a single dive. Fishermen who once worried about crabs and lobsters are now finding their pots full of these 8-armed invaders. The octopuses are not just surviving here, they are thriving. Their eggs are being found attached to rocks on the seabed, a clear indication that they are successfully reproducing and establishing a permanent, self-sustaining population. The south coast of England has, almost overnight, become a new hotspot for one of the ocean's most charismatic and intelligent invertebrates. And we are only just beginning to understand what this means for our shores. So, what is causing this sudden octopus explosion? The most significant factor is the warming of our seas. For years, scientists have been warning that climate change is causing ocean temperatures to rise, and we are now seeing the direct effects of this. The English Channel, once too cold for octopuses to breed successfully, has warmed up just enough to become the perfect nursery. The slightly higher temperatures allow their eggs to develop properly and give the young octopuses a better chance of survival. This warmer water acts like a welcoming invitation, telling these creatures that our coast is now open for business and ready for them to move in and start their families. Another key reason for their success is a decline in their natural predators. Large fish like cod, conger eels, and some species of shark used to patrol our waters, and they would have happily made a meal of a young or unwary octopus. However, years of overfishing have drastically reduced the populations of many of these big, predatory fish. With fewer hunters around, octopuses face far less danger as they grow and explore their new territory. It's like a city with no police force. The octopuses can move about freely without the constant threat of being eaten. This lack of predators creates a safe space for their numbers to grow unchecked, contributing significantly to their population boom. We also have to consider the impact of pollution, but in a way that might surprise you. While we often think of pollution as being harmful to all marine life, certain types can inadvertently help creatures like the octopus. They are tough and adaptable animals that can tolerate conditions other species cannot. Furthermore, their short lifespan and rapid breeding cycle mean they can quickly take advantage of any new opportunity. When pollution or other pressures weaken populations of other animals, it can open up a gap in the ecosystem. The clever and opportunistic octopus is perfectly suited to fill that void, moving in to claim the territory and food resources that other, more sensitive species have left behind. Finally, the very nature of the octopus itself makes it a perfect pioneer. These animals grow incredibly fast, reaching adulthood in as little as a year. A single female can lay hundreds of thousands of eggs, meaning that just a few successful individuals can lead to a massive population surge in a very short amount of time. They are also incredibly versatile hunters, capable of eating a wide variety of prey, from crabs and lobsters to small fish. This combination of warming seas, fewer predators, and their own remarkable biology has created a perfect storm for the octopus, allowing them to not just colonize our coast, but to completely dominate their new home. The arrival of so many octopuses is having a huge impact on the local marine ecosystem. These animals are voracious predators with a big appetite. They are experts at hunting crabs and lobsters, using their powerful arms to pull them from crevices and their strong beak to break through their shells. This is bad news for other animals that rely on the same food source, such as seabirds and larger fish. With octopuses consuming vast quantities of shellfish, there is simply less food to go around. This increased competition can put immense pressure on native species, potentially leading to a decline in their populations as they struggle to find enough to eat in this newly crowded environment. Fishermen are on the front line of this change, and they are facing a serious challenge. The crabs and lobsters that the octopuses love to eat are the same ones that support the livelihoods of many fishing communities along the south coast. Fishermen are reporting that their pots, which should be full of valuable catch, are either empty or, even worse, contain an octopus that has eaten everything inside. This directly impacts their income and threatens a traditional way of life that has existed for centuries. The octopuses are not just eating the fishermen's catch. They are also known to be clever enough to get into the pots, have their meal, and sometimes even escape, leaving a trail of destruction behind. The ripple effect extends beyond just crabs and lobsters. Octopuses are opportunistic and will eat a wide variety of marine life, including scallops, clams, and even small fish. Their presence in such large numbers is creating a fundamental shift in the underwater food web. By removing so many key species, they are altering the delicate balance that has existed in these waters for thousands of years. This could have unpredictable consequences for the entire ecosystem. For example, a decline in scallops could affect the seabed environment, while a reduction in small fish could impact larger animals like dolphins and seals that feed on them, creating a cascade of changes throughout the marine community. This new reality presents a complex ecological puzzle. On one hand, the octopus is a native species to the wider Atlantic, simply expanding its range. On the other, its rapid population growth is behaving like that of an invasive species, overwhelming the existing ecosystem and causing significant disruption. It shows just how quickly nature can change when the conditions are right. The local wildlife is now in a state of flux, with some species suffering and others, like the octopus, thriving. We are witnessing a large-scale, real-time experiment in our own coastal waters, and the long-term outcome for our native marine life is still very uncertain. With this new challenge comes a new opportunity. In countries like Spain, Italy, and Greece, octopus is a prized delicacy and a staple of Mediterranean cuisine. As octopuses become more common in English waters, there is a growing conversation about whether we should start embracing them as a food source. Some chefs and restaurants in coastal towns are already beginning to feature locally caught octopus on their menus. This could provide a new, sustainable income stream for fishermen who are currently losing their traditional crab and lobster catch to these clever predators. By shifting their focus, they could turn a problem into a profitable new industry. However, creating a new fishery for octopus is not without its own set of potential problems. We need to be extremely careful. If we start fishing for them too heavily, without understanding their population dynamics, we could cause their numbers to crash just as quickly as they have risen. This could have its own negative effects on the ecosystem. Furthermore, octopuses are incredibly intelligent, sentient beings, and there are ethical questions to consider about catching and killing them on a large scale. Any plan to develop an octopus fishery must be based on solid scientific research to ensure it is sustainable and managed responsibly for the long term. Beyond fishing, this situation forces us to think about the bigger picture. The arrival of the octopus is a clear and powerful signal that our world is changing. It is a symptom of a much larger issue, a warming planet and an ocean under pressure. We cannot stop the octopus from expanding its range, so we must learn to adapt. This might mean protecting certain areas to help native species recover, investing in research to better understand these changes, and finding new ways for our coastal communities to coexist with their new, 8-armed neighbors. It's a call for us to be as clever and adaptable as the octopus itself. Ultimately, the Great Octopus Invasion is a story about balance. It shows us how fragile the natural world is and how quickly things can be thrown off kilter. It is neither a disaster nor a miracle. It is simply a change, and one that we have played a part in creating. The future of our southern coasts will depend on how we respond. Will we see it as a threat and fight against it? Or will we see it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and find a new balance? The octopus is here, and it is asking us to think carefully about our relationship with the ocean and the role we play in its ever-changing story.